Good evening, everybody. Are you getting my voice? Yes.
Yes,
Are
sir.
you getting? Okay, it's okay.
Yes,
Fine.
yes, yes. Yes.
Yeah. Hi, all. This is Swamy Naidu, and I am teaching UI technologies, Angular, React, Node.js, Mean Stack, and Man Stack. So these technologies I'm handling in Durga Soft. Now we are going to discuss. So what is UI technology, and what are the software means technologies we are using inside this UI. So what is the designing view? These things we are going to discuss now. First of all, if you come to this UI technologies, yeah, UI technologies we are using for client-side designing part as well as client-side coding point of we are using UI technologies. Okay. Now see, first of all, here if you observe just a small diagram. Yeah. So if you take any website, okay. So now here, if you take any website, okay, every website contains two phases here. First phase is designing phase. What is the first phase here? Designing phase. Now here just so designing phase here. So second phase is coding phase. Now here coding phase. Now in this designing phase, we are creating user interfaces. Okay, in this designing phase, we are creating user interfaces. Okay, now here user interfaces. So what is user interface? Nothing but the web page. We are designing the web pages. Okay. So in this designing phase, so we are designing the web pages. User interface, nothing but the web page which user can see. Okay. So which user can interact. That is user interface. Okay. To create these user interfaces, we are working with yes client-side scripting languages. Okay. So we are working with client-side scripting languages. Client-side scripts we are using here. Yeah, what are the client-side scripts we are using here? So those are nothing but here just HTML and next one here CSS and Bootstrap. Okay, like that, different types of client-side scripts are available here. We are using this type of client-side scripts here. So like that here, on web page you want to create. Okay, in this web page you want to display some controls like username text box and next one password text box and login button. Okay, next one here some images you want to display and a registration form, like that Facebook type of web page or any web page you want to create. So actually we are calling it as user interface. Okay, now to create these type of user interfaces, we are working with client side scripts. Okay, so in this client side scripts we are using HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, these type of technologies. So I will explain you later. So why we are using HTML, what we can do with HTML, and what we can do with CSS, everything we'll discuss. And come to this coding point of view. In this coding point of view, we are implementing the logics here. So we are implementing business logics. Okay. So in this point, we are taking the support of server-side scripting languages. What technologies we are using here? Yes, server-side scripting languages. Okay. So different types of server-side scripts are available. Those are nothing but here just Node.js is there. Okay. So what is that? Node.js and just ASP is there and Java JSP and PHP, like that, different types of server-side scripting languages we are using. So once observe this architecture, any website if we take, we have two phases. One is designing phase. In this designing phase, we are creating user interfaces. So to work with the designing phase, we are using client-side scripts. So different types of client-side scripts we are using here: HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, etc. So this is one section. And come to the next section, that is coding. Coding point of view. In coding phase, we are using server-side scripts here. Different types of server-side scripts are available. So those are nothing but Node.js and ASP, PHP, like that. So here, first we should get clarity why we are calling HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, these technologies as client-side scripts. That is the main question here. So for example, you created one web page. In that web page, you use HTML, CSS, and something like PHP or JSP, like that. So with these technologies, you created one web page. Okay, now here I will show you. So here you developed one web page. In your web page, yes, in web page, you used some technologies like HTML, CSS, and PHP. These technologies used in your website. So now here, if anybody is accessing this web page, okay, from server, you uploaded this web page in your server. I am the client of your web page. Okay, I am accessing your web page from your server. Then what is happening? So HTML and CSS code which you developed, that original code is downloading into my browser. So that code is downloading into my browser and it is executing in my browser. So I am the client of your web page. Yes or no? I'm the client of your web page. So here your web page HTML, CSS code is downloading into my system. Means into client system and it is executing client system. That's why you're calling it as client-side script. Okay. So here all technologies means HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, all these technologies are executing in browser. Who is using browser? Client is using browser. That's why you're calling these technologies as client-side scripts. But when you take the PHP, this PHP is executing in server mission. Okay, it is not executing in browser. Like that, not only PHP, ASP, Node.js, all these technologies are executing in web server. So that's why you're calling these scripts as server-side scripts. So like that, to develop any website, so we are using both client-side scripts as well as server-side scripts. So client-side scripts are executing in client system with the help of browser. Server-side scripts are executing in web server. First, you should remember this point. Okay, now here, for example, I'm going to open one website like, yes, facebook.com. Just I have given like this, facebook.com I opened here. Now this is user interface of Facebook. Yes, so actually what is happened here, when I type facebook.com and enter key, when I press the enter key, so request is going to the Facebook server and that Facebook server is sending response to me. At the time of sending the response, so Facebook server send so HTML code, CSS, and Bootstrap, all these client-side scripts into my browser. You want to see that client-side code? Now you can see with view page source. If I click on this view page source, now you can see here, this is HTML and CSS and JavaScript also, Bootstrap. So which is created by, means which is developed by Facebook programmers. Okay, they used this script, HTML script, CSS script in their website. That original code we can see here. Like that, in your website, you use it HTML, CSS, JavaScript, everything. Then that code is downloading into the client system and it is executing in the browser of client. So that's why we're calling them as client-side scripts. So to develop this Facebook, they use it PHP as server-side script. But that PHP code we cannot see here because that PHP code is executing where? In server mission, not in client's mission. That's why it is executing there. Only the result is coming to the client system. For example, if I enter any username and password, when I click on the login button, then what is happening here? One request is going to the server. And in server, PHP code is executing, checking this username, password, email ID and password valid or invalid. If it is valid, it is sending one message. Invalid, it is sending another message. Like that, these server-side scripts, if you observe here, the server-side scripts are executing in web server. Like that, according to the execution location, we are calling some scripts as client-side scripts and some scripts as server-side scripts. First of all, we should get clarity in this point of view. I think all of you got idea in this point of view. Now tell me, have any queries in this point of view? You can ask me now. So first you got idea what is client-side script and what is server-side script. Yes, yes. So first all of you, okay, keep mute yourself. All of you, please keep mute yourself. If anybody wants to ask the questions, those persons will unmute. Yes. So best first all of you keep yourself mute. If anybody wants to ask questions, those persons only unmute. Yes. Yeah. Very good. So now anybody have queries, you unmute and ask me. So just right now explain what is client-side script and what is server-side script. So client-side script means a script which is executing in browser, in client system with the help of browser. That script we are calling as client-side script. Server-side script means what is that? Script which is executing in web server. That script we are calling as server-side script. Okay. Examples for client-side script, HTML, CS, etc. Examples for server-side script, PHP, ASP, etc. Now here come to the UI technologies. All UI technologies are client-side scripts only. Is it clear? All UI technologies are client-side scripts. So in this UI technologies, so what are available? Like HTML is available, CSS is available. Those things we are going to discuss now. What is HTML? What is CSS? Everything I will give you overview first of all. After that, we will discuss the concepts one by one. So just I have given some small introduction about client-side script and server-side script. Clear all of you? Yeah. Any questions you can ask me now. You can unmute and you can ask me if you have any queries. Okay. So Sai Rupa, Prakash. Yes. So you got clarity in this client-side script and server-side script point of view. Yes. Okay. So I'm not getting any response from you. Okay, no issue. So you can just click on the unmute button and you can ask the questions, or else you can also send me the doubts in chat box. I will give you response. So Angular is client side. Angular is client side script. One person is asking what is Angular. It is client side script only. Is it clear? It is nothing but here. So JavaScript virtual script is nothing but Angular JS. Okay, Angular JS is the framework of JavaScript. Okay, fine. Now come to the next point. So here, what is HTML and why we are using this HTML? That concept we are going to discuss now here. Okay. Now here, just if you observe this one, yes, yeah, in this Facebook, so these are controls available. Yes. So text boxes. This is one text box, and here you can see this image control and radio buttons and button control. So here all these controls we can display with the help of HTML. So HTML, if you take, so HTML, I think I think you know the full form. All of you know hypertext markup language. Okay, HTML is providing number of tags. HTML is providing number of tags to display controls on browser. So here web controls are available. Every browser contains web controls. So if you take Chrome or Firefox or Internet Explorer, like that, all these browsers contains web controls. These controls we can display with the help of HTML. Some people, they are thinking HTML is providing web controls. Don't think like that. HTML is not providing any web controls. Web controls presented in browser. Yes, those controls we can activate, we can display with the help of HTML. Means HTML is providing instructions in the form of tags to enable the controls of browser. Is it clear? So that's why if you observe here, text box, if you take text box, look and feel is different between Internet Explorer, Chrome and Firefox. Okay, so that look and feel is different. Why? Because here, so these controls are available where inside the browser only. So in Firefox browser, they given some different styles, and Chrome browser they have given some different styles. Like that, here browser to browser, some look and feel is changing here. So that's why here controls are presented in browser. So those controls we can activate with the help of HTML. So HTML is providing different types of tags here. Using these tags, we can enable the controls on browser. That is the concept of HTML. Okay, now here come to the CSS. Yes, why we are using CSS? What is the use of the CSS? CSS providing number of styles. These styles we can apply on the HTML controls. For example, here, so this text box, if you observe here, this text box border and the size is different, and this text box is different here. Like that, by using styles, we can apply. So CSS concept, we can apply styles on the HTML controls. I'm going to open one website which we uploaded recently here. So this is yeah. So in this website, just I'm loading this one. Yes, you can see this website here. So in this website, so this menu contains different colors here. So multiple colors here. Also we applied multiple colors, and here these buttons, if you observe here, if you move mouse over these buttons, so like that different color is coming. And button border, if you observe here, round border is there. All these type of styles we can apply. We can apply with the help of CSS. Okay, so here HTML we are using to display controls. Okay, it is providing tags. HTML is providing tags to display web controls in browser. CSS to apply styles on HTML controls. Yes, this is about CSS. Okay, so here if you take this UI technologies, HTML is there, CSS is there. Next one, JavaScript is there. Yes, now here JavaScript. What is the role of JavaScript? Okay, JavaScript is very important. So here, so by using JavaScript, we can execute logics. We can execute logics. So if you take HTML is not for logics. CSS is also not for logics. HTML, CSS we are using for what purpose? Only designing purpose we are using. But you want to write any logics, then we can take the support of JavaScript. Yes. Now just now I told you one point. To write the logics, we are using server-side scripts like PHP, ASP, JSP, like that, any one of these technologies. Okay, then what is JavaScript? What type of logics we can write in JavaScript? Already server-side scripts are available to write the logics. Then why should we use JavaScript? That question may come in your mind. Okay, so for that I'm giving the solution here. As JavaScript is client-side script, means what are the logics you have written inside the JavaScript. So within the, by using JavaScript, those logics are executing where in client's mission. In browser, those logics are executing. For example, if you write any logics using PHP, ASP, JSP, these technologies, Node.js, so these technologies, if used to write the logics, those logics are executing in server mission, but JavaScript logics are executing in client's mission within the browser. Now, what type of logics I can do with JavaScript? What we can do with JavaScript? So first point, we can use JavaScript to change, or you can use to apply dynamic functionalities on HTML controls. Yes. So what is this point? Okay. So here every HTML control is static control. So you want to apply any dynamic functionalities on HTML control, then we are taking the support of JavaScript. So static control means, what the meaning of static control? Properties cannot be changed at runtime. That is static control. Dynamic control means properties can change at runtime. That is dynamic control. So by default, all HTML controls are static controls. By using JavaScript, we can convert those controls as dynamic controls. In this point of view, I will show you one example. Then you will get more clarity. So simple one HTML file I'm creating. So here in this point of view, don't try to understand the coding. So see the output, that's all. Now here, what is my requirement? I want to place one image control. So img source is equal to, yes, in my desktop, I have some images like the mango.jpg. Okay, like that apple.jpg, different types of images are there. Just I'm displaying one image mango.jpg. So one image control I'm displaying here. Now save this file. In which location? Desktop location I'm saving. So with the name demo.html, I have given like this. So here I created one small web page. In that web page, I have taken one HTML control, that is image. By default, so mango.jpg I'm displaying on this control here. Now if you, yes, this is the file which we created just now. So double click on this. Now this file is loaded into browser. Now this is runtime. Yes. So this is design time. In design time, source I have given mango.jpg. At runtime, it displays that output in browser. Like that, we can enable the controls on the browser. So which control I enable here? Image tag. So we can enable the controls on browser using HTML. Now my question is it static control or dynamic control? Is it static control or dynamic control? As this is static control, so there is no change you can see after 1 minute or after 1 second or any other action like click like that. Is it clear? So it looks like that only. After 1 hour also it looks like that only. But my requirement is I want to change the properties of this control based on the user action. For example, if user click on this control, as that mango I want to change as some other image like apple, etc. Or if user move the mouse forward, as I want to increase the size of this image control, like that, these type of properties you want to change at runtime, then we are taking the support of which script? JavaScript. Yes. So JavaScript we are using for what purpose? To apply dynamic functionalities on HTML controls. Okay. Now here that script I will show you now. So my requirement is, yeah, by default mango.jpg is there, right? When user click here, I want to change this source as apple.jpg. Okay, then here we are going to take the support of JavaScript here. Now JavaScript colon. So original source is mango.jpg that I'm changing as apple.jpg. Once again, I'm telling you, don't try to understand this coding. So each and everything I will discuss. Okay, what is image tag, what is src, and how to apply the JavaScript, everything we will discuss in detail. Just we are discussing what is the user JavaScript. Okay, to get some more idea in this point of view, I'm using this example, that's all. Now refresh here. So here when I click, yes, now you can see it is changed to apple.jpg like that. So source property I changed at runtime. Yes, you can change width, you can change height, like that. Any property you can change at runtime with the help of JavaScript. Okay, means dynamically we can change the properties of HTML control using JavaScript. So that's the first point why we are using JavaScript. This is clear now. Yes, second point. What is the second point to use JavaScript? Yes, we are using JavaScript to apply validations. Okay, so validations on the HTML controls. So for example, username text box is empty or not, email ID text box, user enter the correct email format or not, and password, retype password, these values are matching or not. These type of validations you want to perform, then we are also taking the support of JavaScript. So for example, here, come to this Facebook. Yes, in this Facebook, if you observe here, so if you don't enter any text and coming out, so we are getting this type of message here. Okay, so these type of validations we can do with the help of JavaScript. Okay, that is one more point here. So for example, mobile number or email address, if you type something like this, now immediately we are getting the error message here. Okay, invalid mobile number or email ID like that. So these type of, okay, validations we can do with the help of JavaScript. Okay, so here JavaScript we are using to apply dynamic functionalities and validations. Third point, JavaScript we can also use to execute some logics. Already I told you that point. Okay, so those logics are executing where? In browser or server. So those logics are executing in browser. So one example I will tell you. For example, calculator program you want to create. Okay, you are creating calculator program. In this program, so user will enter some numbers, and when user click on the plus, minus, or any other button, you want to perform some calculations. So that program we can develop by using either JavaScript or by using any server-side script. So what is the benefit if you develop that program using JavaScript? Yes, if you develop that program using JavaScript, whenever user click on the buttons like plus, minus, etc., code is executing user system only, means client system only. That's why he can immediately see the result. If you develop the same script by using any server-side script like PHP or Java, JSP or ASP, then when user click on the button, for every click, one request is going to the server. Their code is executing and response is coming back to browser. For this entire round trip, it takes some time. So that's why, so output of JavaScript is very faster than server-side script output. That's why most of the logics in web applications we are implementing by using JavaScript only. So those logics are executing where? In client system. That's why immediately client can see the output. Okay, like that, these three types of functionalities we can do with JavaScript. Now you can ask me one question, sir. We can write the logics by using JavaScript, and we can apply the dynamic functionalities as well as we can perform the validations. Then why we are using server-side scripts in website development? So along with the JavaScript, we are also using server-side scripts. Yes. So then why should we use the server-side scripts? Everything we are doing with the JavaScript only. Then in which point of we are using server-side scripts? Mostly server-side scripts we are using to connect with the database of server or application database. For example, Facebook. Yes, Facebook database, where it is available in that server or in your system. Facebook database is available in Facebook server. So that's why if they write JavaScript to connect with the database, then it is not possible to connect with the server database. If you write the logic to connect with the database in JavaScript, always try to connect with client's database only, but not server database. But here all users information, everything is available where? In server database only. In this point of view, we are taking the support of server-side scripts like PHP or Java, JSP, etc. And moreover, you want to work with the sessions, web tokens. In this point of view, we are taking the server-side scripts. Remaining all point of view, we can work with JavaScript. That is the role of this JavaScript. JavaScript is very, very important for us. Okay. So like that, every web developer must know JavaScript. That is mandatory. Is it clear? Yes. So we discussed something about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Now, you people have any doubts? You can ask me. I am going to unmute you people. Yes. Now, you have any doubts? You can ask me now. First of all, these points are clear, everyone. Maunish, Prakash, yes, Sai Rupa. So here we discussed, first we discussed what is client-side script, what is server-side script. After that we discussed why we are using HTML and CSS, okay, and JavaScript. So my question is, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, these scripts comes under client-side scripts or server-side scripts? Tell me your answer. Yes, client-side scripts or server-side scripts? HTML, CSS, JavaScript, these scripts comes under. Yeah.
Comes under client-side scripts.
Yeah, these are all comes under client-side scripts. So why we are calling this as client-side scripts?
Because these are
Why
executed by browser.
Yeah, these are executing in browser. Okay, that's why we're calling these scripts as client-side scripts. Okay, so now here, yes, I unmute. Sorry, I mute you all. If anybody have doubt at middle, you can unmute yourself and you can ask me. No problem. Yes, so HTML we are using to display the controls on browser, CSS to apply the styles on HTML controls, and JavaScript, okay, to apply the dynamic functionalities on HTML controls and validations as well as to apply the logics. Now come to the next point here. What is that? In this UI technologies, we are also discussing Bootstrap. Yes. So Bootstrap is nothing but the framework of CSS. It is nothing but the framework of CSS. So what is this framework? Why we are using Bootstrap? Yes. So what are the styles we are applying in CSS manually? Those styles are ready-madely available in Bootstrap. First of all, means Bootstrap is providing many style classes. Okay. So predefined style classes. These style classes we can apply on HTML controls to display rich web applications. That's the first point of Bootstrap. And second point, if you take here, Bootstrap is providing some advanced controls like navbar, carousel, yes, and next one here, model dialog box. So if you observe this website, in my website, yes, you can see here this navigation bar I created with Bootstrap. Okay, and now here if I click on login button, then here this pop-up is coming. It is nothing but model dialog box in Bootstrap. Is it clear? So like that here, if you come down, yes, these are controls, material design controls in Bootstrap, just like Gmail. If you open, so controls look like this only. If I click on this, the text is moving up. Yes, like that, these type of all styles and advanced controls are available in Bootstrap. That's the first point. And the second point, if you take this Bootstrap, one more advantage is there with this Bootstrap. What is that advantage? We can create the responsive web pages using Bootstrap. What is that? We can create the responsive web page using Bootstrap. What is the meaning of responsive? Yes. So compatibility of web page with any device. So nowadays, users are using different devices like mobile, tab, desktop, okay, laptop, like that. Now here your web page should be compatible with that screen size. Okay, for example, this website, if I open with mobile, then it has to adjust according to the mobile screen. If I open with tab, it should adjust according to the tab screen size, like that desktop and laptop. So like that, we can't say which device user is using to open a website, but we have to develop the applications compatible with any type of device. So that compatibility we can provide by using Bootstrap. We can call it as Bootstrap to create a responsive web pages, and it is providing predefined CSS classes. Okay. Next one here, it is also providing some advanced controls. Okay, some advanced controls it is providing, like just I told you, model dialog box is there, carousel control, nav bar. Okay, like that here, date picker control, different types of advanced controls are available. Now if you observe this web page, so this web page is compatible with any screen size. I will show you now. So here I open this web page in laptop. So that's why according to the laptop it is adjusted. So here it is giving images like that. If I open with mobile phone, okay, now here mobile view I am going to use here. Now this is nothing but here mobile view. Yes. Now here when you are coming to the mobile view, content is coming one by one like this. Is it clear? So this content and this content is coming one by one like this. And here you can see these contents also coming one by one. So here according to the responsive, we should not display any content in horizontal scrolling, because horizontal scrolling is difficult to user. So vertical scrolling is possible here. Yes, that's why here vertically we are displaying the content like this. So if I open with the tab, then according to the tab view it is adjusted. Now you can see here in tab these two things are coming side by side. Now you can see here. Yes, now you can see these are coming side by side. If I go with that large screen, then four containers coming side by side like this here. Is it clear? Like that here. So according to the screen size, it should automatically adjust. So for that, we are taking the support of Bootstrap. So that grid concept is there. Using this grid concept, we can develop the web pages compatible with any type of device. That is the concept of Bootstrap. So Bootstrap is very, very, very important for us. Okay. So like that, we discussed what is HTML, what is CSS, what is JavaScript, and what is Bootstrap. Next one here, we have to discuss jQuery. Yes, what are the topics we have in these UI technologies? Okay, those topics overview I am giving. Why we are using HTML, why we are using JavaScript, Bootstrap, that overview. So from next session onwards, we will start. So the tags of HTML and the styles of CSS properties and JavaScript functionalities, everything one by one we will discuss. Okay, now what is jQuery? Yes. So jQuery is nothing but library of JavaScript. Yes, what is jQuery? jQuery is nothing but the library of JavaScript. So here, what it is providing, what is the meaning of library? Yes, so JavaScript is a technology. For this technology, jQuery is library. So what are the logics we are writing in JavaScript manually? Those logics ready-madely available in jQuery. Means here jQuery simplifies the code of JavaScript. That is the main concept of jQuery. It simplifies the code of JavaScript. Okay. So here, for example, so if you want to apply any functionality in JavaScript which is taking around 10 lines, the same functionality we can finish within 4 to 5 lines in jQuery. That type of simplified coding is available in jQuery. That's the first point. Second point, jQuery is providing different types of animation effects. jQuery is providing different types of animation effects to apply on HTML controls. Is it clear? Like that at the time of displaying the controls and hiding the controls, you want to apply some sliding effect, or you want to apply any animation effect. This predefined many type of animations are available in this jQuery. So that's why jQuery is very, very popular library of JavaScript. So in every application, okay, anywhere if you take here some locations we are working with jQuery only. So mainly in animations point of view, we are using jQuery. So like that, this is about the technologies HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, and jQuery. So what is jQuery here? Library of JavaScript. So it is providing shorting code of JavaScript, means simplified code of JavaScript. At the same time, it is providing predefined animation effects here. And what is Bootstrap? Framework of CSS. So predefined classes are there. Next one. So many advanced controls are available in this Bootstrap, and responsive web pages we can create. And JavaScript, already I told you JavaScript we are using to perform these type of functionalities. And CSS properties, style properties like color, background color, these type of properties are available. And HTML we are using to display the controls on browser. In this UI technologies, we are covering all these concepts. Along with these concepts, we are covering the document object model, so DOM, and browser object model, BOM. These concepts also we are covering here. So these are the technologies which we are discussing in this UI technologies batch. Okay, so just I have given overview of this UI technologies and where we are using that I told you. Now here you can ask me from your side any queries you have. You can ask me now. Yes. So I hope I clear this concept. Yes. Prakash.
Yes, yes, it is clear.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Any queries you have in this point of view, Monish?
No, sir. No, query. Sir, I am Prakash, sir.
You are Prakash. Yeah. Any queries, Prakash, you have?
No, sir. Related to topic, sir, I have no any query, sir. But I have one question. Can I ask, sir?
Yeah, you can ask me.
Sir, is there any other timing for this course?
Yeah, which time you want?
Sir, your 4:30 batch, what is the topic is going on right now?
Yeah, CSS started just now. Do one thing then.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you can attend from tomorrow onwards that batch. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And up to CSS you
Yes.
can cover in this batch.
Yes,
Only
sir.
HTML concept is completed. Okay. So CSS
Yes.
started. You can attend that batch.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So tomorrow,
Sir,
if you ask management, yeah, if you ask that link, they will provide you. Management people will provide you that link. You can ask them.
okay, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Okay.
Monish, is it clear?
Yes, sir, yes, sir, it is clear.
Sir, can I leave, sir?
Yeah. So any doubts you have? Yes. Session is over today. And one more thing I want to tell you. So here
Yes,
every
sir.
day we have 1 hour 15-minute session. Every day we have 1 hour 15-minute session. But initial 4 days I will take only 1 hour session. After that our session timing 1 hour 15 minutes. And here mostly I will cover this course within 35 to 40 days. Is it clear? Yes. So tomorrow onwards, I will start the HTML concepts, how to work with this HTML, everything. I will start from tomorrow onwards. Now, anybody wants to leave, you can leave. And if anybody wants to ask doubts, you can ask. And moreover, you can also personally ask me the doubts. So this is my email ID. Yes, you can send your queries and you can ask me the doubts if you have any personally. Yes. Now I'm going to unmute you people. Yes. Yeah. Now you can ask your doubts.
Sir, what is the difference between Bootstrap, Angular, and React.js, sir?
Yeah, Bootstrap is for designing purpose. Is it clear? So Bootstrap is for designing purpose. It is nothing but the framework of CSS. Okay, providing many styles. Okay, so for look and feel point of view, we are using Bootstrap. But when you are coming to the Angular and React, these are for coding purpose. That is client-side coding. So nothing but just what we can do with JavaScript. Those things we can also do with Angular as well as React. Is it clear? So client-side coding. So what is Angular? Framework of what is the Angular JS? Framework of JavaScript. So what is the React JS? Library of JavaScript. What is jQuery? That is also library of JavaScript. Like that JavaScript related many frameworks are there as well as many libraries are there. Even Node.js if you take, Node.js is the server-side code of JavaScript. MongoDB if you take, that is also implemented based on JavaScript only database. Like that many products implemented based on JavaScript. So here if you take Angular JS or React JS and jQuery, all these are next level of advanced technologies related to JavaScript only. Is it clear?
Clear, sir. But you said Angular is a framework and JavaScript is a library.
Not JavaScript. jQuery is library. jQuery is library of JavaScript. Understanding?
Sorry, sir.
Angular JS is the framework of JavaScript.
And React is a library, sir, or it is also.
React is also library, not framework.
So what's
Yes.
the difference, sir?
Yeah, React Native is there. React Native, that is again framework. Okay, React Native is there, that is framework. We are using React Native to develop the mobile applications. Now, what is the difference between library and framework? That's the main point. So, library, framework, both are providing functionalities. Is it clear? So, here JavaScript related simplified functionalities are available in so jQuery, AngularJS, and React.js everywhere available. But the major difference is library functionalities we can use, but we cannot customize. According to your requirement, you want to customize, not possible. But framework functionalities we can use as well as we can customize according to the requirement. That is the main difference between a library and framework.
So,
Got this point?
yeah, got it, sir. It's clear, sir.
Yeah.
So to develop your application with React, which framework they use? Hello, sir. Sir, did you hear me, sir?
Hello. Are you getting my voice? Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm getting, sir.
Me.
Yeah, since you said that it is a library for customization and all, to develop your application with React, which framework they use? I'm asking
to develop an application, I didn't get you. Come again. I didn't get your question.
Okay, suppose there is an application. If you want to develop, the framework is required, right, sir? Without framework, we cannot develop. That's my understanding.
No. That is not correct. You can use only with JavaScript also you can develop the application. No? So without using any framework or library, by using only JavaScript also you can develop the application. But for easy development, we are using either framework or library. Understanding this one?
Got it, sir. Got it.
Yeah. So in this framework and library, which one is better? If you ask me, I will vote for framework only, because framework customization is possible, but in library customization is not possible.
Yeah, interesting part, sir. But when we see the analysis in the Google, they say React is having, I mean, both are slightly same, but
yeah, both are in US, okay, and foreign countries, React boom is good. In Indian market and some other countries, Angular is good.
okay.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
So you want to get the difference, exact difference between Angular and React. Those things we will discuss in Angular batch, because first of all, if you know something about Angular, like data binding concept, what is data binding, what is single page application, Okay, so if you have clarity in this point of view, then you can easily understand. So what is the difference between Angular and React? Yes, what are good in Angular and what are good in React? Those comparisons we'll discuss in Angular batch.
Okay.
Is it clear? Yeah.
Sorry, if you don't mind, can I ask you last question?
Yeah, you can ask me.
Okay, so being a UI developer, so it's advisable to learn both the frameworks, or it's like go with any one of the framework?
Yeah, no. You can go with anyone.
Okay.
Is it clear? Either Angular. Yeah. After this course, you want to go for the next level. Okay. So then either Angular or React. Anyone you can use here. And Angular is working based on object-oriented programming. React is not working based on object-oriented programming. Is it clear? Yes, Angular
Yes.
two-way data binding is there. In React, one-way data binding is there. Like that, some differences are there. But right now, if I explain those differences, you cannot understand because technically you should know what is data binding. Yes, and what is routing concept. You should know technical. Then you can easily understand. But my suggestion is you can go with any one of these, either Angular or React.
Got it. Clear. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other queries? Okay, fine.
In this course, only HTML, CSS, and JavaScript are you are going to teach, or like you are also going to teach jQuery and all?
Yeah, I am teaching HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, jQuery. Okay, with DOM and BOM, document object model and browser object model. These are the technologies we are handling here. So that's why I
Okay,
told
okay,
you
got it.
what is Bootstrap, what is jQuery. That introduction I given because we are dealing with these technologies now. That's why I given some introduction about these technologies. Okay.
Actually, as of now, I'm working as a performance engineer in Value Labs. So, like,
Yeah.
I'm going to come to developer position, like, mainly for UI developing only. So, like, at the end of this course, also, is there any possibility to learn to work on these real-time projects?
Mm. See, one thing I'm telling you. So these technologies are foundation for next level, actually. To be frank, if you ask me, these all technologies are foundation for next level. So next level, we have to learn either Angular or React. Is it clear? So just like, so C language we are using for foundation, yes or no? For to learn Java or any other technologies. Like that here, so JavaScript you should know first of all. If you know JavaScript, then you can work with any framework or library like jQuery, Angular, React. Is it clear? So with these technologies only you want to get job. If with these technologies only you want to get job, it is tough to you. Openly I'm telling you. Understanding this
Okay,
point?
got it. Yeah, got it,
Yeah.
sir. Yeah.
But these are mandatory to you to go for the next level. That is the concept of this. Okay.
Okay, sir, got it.
So by using these technologies, your role is you a designer. If you get any job with these technologies, your role is you a designer. If you know Angular or React, then your role is you a developer. Yes. Nowadays, very less openings are there for designer. So we have huge openings with developer. And less salary for designers, huge salary for developer. That's why you should concentrate on that next level technologies. But before that, you must know very well about these technologies. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, got it, sir.
Any other queries? Okay, fine. In next class, I will start HTML concepts. Okay. So see you in next class. Thank you. Bye.